Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new series on Planet Coaster. In this series we will be building a tropical theme, and I say we, and that's because this series I won't be building on my own. In fact, this is a collaboration series. I've never done anything like this before, so it'll be really exciting to see what happens. You're probably wondering, what is this collaboration series all about? So me, DJB Coasters, I'm making the first episode here, as you can see, and the second episode will not be on my channel. In fact, it'll be on somebody else's channel, another theme park YouTuber called Theme Park LB. He plays Planet Coaster. He's really good at building roller coasters, much better than me. So we'll collaborate and mix our different skills in Planet Coaster. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description, so make sure that you're subscribed and ready for the second episode. So at the moment, it's the very start of the series, obviously. So this is going to be a full theme park. It won't be a huge theme park, but it will be a full theme park, not just a small area like Port of Asgard was my last series. And I want this to be more realistic, so you can see me putting in ticket booths and toilets and stuff like that, and ATMs, and there will be some backstage areas in here. And yeah, I'm just trying to make it like a more realistic theme park, and I'm really excited to see how this turns out. At the moment you can see me building the ticket booths at theme parks. Most of the time now people buy tickets online, but if you don't have tickets already, you can go and buy them at these booths and then go and give them at the entrance of the park, which will be a little bit further on. So you can see that it's a very tropical theme already. There's some trees, plants around, and this architecture. This is actually in the World's Fair. This is, I think it's a Moroccan theme or something. It's called Adobe. That's the building set that it is, and I think it looks really nice. Those wooden things that stick out, you sort of see them in tropical themes in, like, if I think about Black Mamba at Phantasialand, you can see around there's a lot of those wooden poles sticking out of the buildings. So it's really useful to have that building material, and it looks really good in my opinion. So yeah, you can see here that we are building the tickets, and there's some fences going in. I've not really had the chance to use those fences before, so it's quite cool. And now we extend this building out a bit, and this will be like a guest services building, information, first aid, stuff like that. So in this video we won't really get to build inside the park. It's all about that entrance plaza just outside the park before you enter, but it's really good to have a good impression on your guests before they actually enter the park. It's also a good place to put lots of utility buildings, like I spoke earlier, toilets. I will put some toilets down in this video, and then there's first aid, information, and staff buildings. So yeah, and you can see here, I want to talk about this a bit because you see there's a big gap, and I struggled to fill this gap well. I tried lots of windows and doors and nothing really seemed to fit, but eventually I found like a stucco window which had a shutter closed, and that was the perfect size. And then I just put a basket of flowers on the end, and I think that looks quite good, so I'm happy with how this building turned out. And then this is just a facade. In real theme parks they wouldn't realistically have a whole building behind it, so just to make it look nice they make it tall, but it's not a proper building. So you can see what I did there. I had some facades in my last series, Port of Asgard. I had some buildings which are on the other side of the port for where the path was, and they just sort of acted as a background, as a backdrop, but they wouldn't have been like useful buildings, and theme parks do this a lot of the time, so it's just me trying to be realistic. And then here is the toilet block. I wanted it to be like a decently sized toilet block. You can see I've left a bit of space out the back because in this game the toilet is just a 4x4 square, and in my opinion that's not really enough room. So, you know, being realistic in the interest of realism, I extended it out the back. And yeah, you can see one side is for women, one side's for men, and then the path split like that. and then we build a roof, a simple wooden roof using these wooden platforms, and I think they look quite cool because from the interior you look up, you can sort of see that they glow a bit. It's like they catch the sun, and then, you know, I'm not sure, but they look pretty cool from the underside, so that's why I use them quite a lot in this entrance area. So I've got a little gap here, just put in some shrubbery, and again, you know, these tropical plants seem to move a lot. You can see how much they're moving, and I don't think it's windy. Must be windy, but they seem to be moving a hell of a lot. Anyway, some rocks as well, tropical and deciduous rocks go down here because they look pretty similar, but the tropical rocks, strangely enough, they're huge. There's only a few of them which are fairly small, but I just use some deciduous rocks because they just seem too big. And now you can see here, I'm working on a little bit of a backstage area, so just being accessible for park staff. And I want to talk about my experience with backstage areas. So I went to Disneyland Paris with the school band, and yeah, we played a concert at the Hyperion Cafe, I think that's what it's called. It's a big cafe next to Hyperspace Mountain. So we played on the stage in there, and the way we entered the park was a different entrance to all of the normal guests. We went in like a staff entrance, so it was really cool. We had lots of security, so yeah, it was really high security, and it felt like it was literally the same as an airport, because obviously they've got a reputation which they have to maintain. If anything bad happens, then, you know, it's not going to be good for their name, because Disney, obviously, it's a huge transnational company. I'm not sure how much of this I'm meant to talk about. There's probably restrictions on what I'm allowed to say, but yeah, I just let everything spill. So if this video suddenly gets deleted and I go to court, then sorry about that, but you'll know why. But talking a bit more about the backstage area, I'm definitely trying to get this video taken down at this rate. But we saw some of the floats all parked, and that's what they have the parades. So if you go to Disney, you know, one of the most common things there is the parades. That's what everybody knows Disney for. You see all the characters and the vehicles go through very slowly, and then all the characters are like dancing on them in it, you know. But we saw some of them parked, and to be fair, the backstage area at Disney was really tidy. I've seen some photos of Thorpe Park backstage areas, and they've just got old rafts from the Rumba Rapids, and it looks really messy. But at Disneyland Paris, it was the tidiest backstage area I've seen. Well, the only backstage area I've seen. But yeah, I think it was quite interesting, that, so I hope you enjoyed that bit of story time. By the way, how I was talking about going to court, that definitely won't happen. Or will it? But basically they just seemed really strict, and we weren't allowed our phones out at all in case we take photos. So yeah, that you know, don't know if I'm meant to talk about it or not, but you know, in the purpose of the video, there it is. So you've seen a lot go on in the background with me talking about other stuff, and this is the actual entrance to the park. You can see the letters go across there, and that is the name of this park, Selva Azteca, which means Aztec forest in Spanish, Aztec jungle. Like, most people won't know what it means, they just know that it'll sound good, and I think it's got quite a catchy ring to it. So I'm happy with the name, and you can see these letters which were from the vintage pack, but I'm not really that happy with how they look. I thought they were alright, but Theme Park LB told me that I should recreate the letters of the actual logo using art shapes. So later on you'll see that I did try that, and honestly it looks so much better. So thanks to him for suggesting that. This wouldn't have happened without, you know, wouldn't have happened without him suggesting it, and I guess that's a big reason why you do collabs. You can help each other, and yeah, I'm so glad for that, and I think it looks really good afterwards, as you'll see. So you can suddenly see a big S going in, and I did this off camera. For some of you who don't know, I'll explain how this works. So you get a billboard and put in the image that you want. So as you can see, the logo of the park is there on the billboard. So I used art shapes and went over the top of the letters, and then used advanced move just to move them into the right shape so that they recreate the shape of the letters. And then I moved them on top of here. I had to so basically it just means that you get the font that you're looking for, and I had to move each letter individually so that it fit with the curved shape of the entrance area. And then on the bottom I do the underline of the letter. That's part of the logo, and I think it's a good way to cover off that wooden board, because you might have seen me struggling to successfully cover it off. I raised the letters a bit so that there's a bit of space, so that from ground level the green underline didn't get in the way too much. And then again, in the interest of realism, I put some wooden poles in to support the letters, because they wouldn't just be floating in real life, clearly. But this is the end of the video now. Thank you so much for watching, and the second episode, remember, will be on the channel of Theme Park LB. So see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.